I first met stained glass and fell in love with stained glass when I was a child. My uncle had a shop in Auckland, and when I would go and stay with my cousins, which was a very happy, safe feeling time of my life, I'd go and stay with my cousins and would walk round the corner up to his shop, and it was just filled with beautiful lamps and stained glass pieces and stained glass everywhere, and I fell in love with it then, definitely. I didn't get hands-on in the shop. I would have probably only been 8 years old or something at the time. But my dad had a girlfriend when I was about 11, and she had a little studio set up in her garage, and that was the first time I got to snap some glass and make a couple of little things. So I made a candle holder and wind chime that my dad still has hanging up in his house today, so it's nice to see them when I go back there. Because I was 11 when I did it, I don't really remember the sensation of doing it. I just remember the excitement and that constant attraction to any coloured glass and stained glass, and just wanting to be near it and wanting to be around it and wanting to learn about it. When I was 24, I went and did it was meant to be just a small square piece, and it ended up being 152 pieces, this huge, big rainbow piece I put in a rammed earth house I built when I was 24 years old with some help from my family, which was really cool. So that's in there now. I kind of didn't really have access. I don't know why mentally I just didn't go out and buy the things I needed to buy to make a studio at home, but for whatever reason there was just some blockage there about that. And sometimes there's been moments where I've just felt a really strong urge to create something and got a big sheet of paper out. And this is in between commission work, or in between repair work, or in between more kind of set tasks, when I get a little moment alone to kind of channel some creativity in. I was in New Zealand visiting my family marae, the Tuahiwi marae, down in Christchurch, the Ngaitahu tribe, and I was sitting in this marae. It was the first time I'd ever been there, and it was really a magical moment, a real cultural connection. And I saw this vision of this woman, and she had her moku on, and this wahine with her moku, and I decided when I got home I was going to draw her up and make her into a lead light panel, and so that's what I did, and it just felt beautiful, because there is, I guess traditionally stained glass has been a real male-dominated industry, and I know in the 80s, 70s and 80s, a lot more women were taking up the art. But what happens when it is a male-dominated industry or art form, that the female form is represented in these kind of demure, pleasing to the male gaze, type positionings, and I wanted to challenge that. I mean, I'm quite a furious feminist, and I'm quite passionate feminist, and I like to challenge this notion of kind of these women in these stained glass panels since the beginning of time being, maybe it's more like church related, or it's all kind of very kind of proper or demure, and I didn't like that. So I guess having this Māori woman with a moku and her punamu on was the start of my kind of series of women in positions of power, and it just felt right. Here was this woman, and there was nothing demure about her. She was just staring right back at you with her in her power. Hanging Rock Hall approached me a while ago with this design, asking me if I could turn it into a stained glass art piece. I felt really privileged to be asked to do that because this is my community and where I've grown up in the Northern Rivers since I was 6 years old, and Hanging Rock Hall is probably one of the most beautiful craftsmanship halls I've ever seen. It's just filled with amazing rock walls and woodwork and wrought iron, and to be one of the artists that have been asked to contribute to that was really heartwarming. So yeah, it was beautiful. Also the subject of the art piece being a phoenix, and it was really relevant to where I was going in my life as well, and some massive changes were happening for me, and I love that when my artwork sometimes is connected to my life like that, so it becomes part of my story. What's been really lovely is that both my daughters have started playing. So one of them is just starting to play a bit more, but my older daughter, she's just right into it, and she's just creating the most amazing pieces that are so kind of different and unusual, and her colour combos, and she's just been doing all these fruit, strawberry bunting and slices of grapefruit and gum leaves with proper real gum nuts soldered onto them. And so there's this, I'm really happy that it's like it's a third generational thing already in our family. I'm so excited about that. Both my daughters can choose to play in this world of glass if they want to. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.